Oh, wait.
Isn't that a funny hat? Oh, it's just a winter kind of hat.
I'll tell you what
Okay.
it is. That was...
Funny hat.
Where am I?
On top, in the middle.
Is that me?
Yes.
In the back, in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It had a little brim on it, like
Yes.
a little truck driver's
Yeah,
hat or something. Yeah, because
It looks like
that,
Elmer Fudd's hat.
that was my storm coat. And
Yeah.
those kind of hats went with the storm coat.
Okay.
Now, is this Pat?
Yeah.
Okay, and Martha.
You ask me why I'm always teasing you.
Too bad Grandma isn't here because she could tell you very clearly, although she was 5 and her little sister, Baby Ray they called her, was 3 when Baby Ray died. But Grandma could tell you she has many, many memories of the favoritism that she looked at it as favoritism shown to her sister. Grandma always wanted a bow in her hair because they always put a bow in Baby Ray's hair.
And I'd like to be your sister, brother, dad, and mother too, pretty baby.
One time she asked her mother, "Can't I have a bow? Why can't I have a bow in my hair like Baby Ray does?" And she was told that she was just a different looking child. She was a different type. And bows just didn't suit her, which made her very unhappy, and she clearly remembers it. I think all her life she wanted to be the kind of person that could wear a bow in her hair.
She resented Baby Ray, and she used to think horrible thoughts about her. And when Baby Ray
Oh,
died...
that's depressing.
No, it's depressing, but when Baby Ray died, Mother always thought it was her fault. Because she did tell me that once.
I know,
And,
because that's what kids think.
well, of course.
Very jealous of her little sister.
And that is why I'm sure that I will always love you best of all.
I mean, I've seen that happen over and over and over and over.
Why I'm in love with you, pretty baby, pretty baby.
But that's how she knew that she wasn't favored.
Mm.
You know, everybody thought Baby Ray was so cute and adorable, and nobody ever thought she was cute and adorable. This is how Grandma would just tell you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Grandma had poker straight hair. They wouldn't put a bow in it.
And they cut it like Buster
Pretty
Brown.
baby of mine.
Yeah. Yeah, this had to be the New Jersey school. You can tell looking at the group because when she went to Benjamin Franklin Junior High when they moved here, she went home crying after her first day and said there's nobody there but foreigners.
Oh, my God, that's when it started.
Yeah, that's when it
That
started.
started her foreigner business.
Yeah, that's what she said. They were all foreigners.
Lady Liberty standing there in the harbor with her torch on high, screaming out to all the nations of the world, send me your poor, you deadbeats, you filthy. And all the nations sent them in here. They come swarming in like ants. Your Spanish PRs from the Caribbean there. Your Japs, your Chinamen, your Krauts and your Hebes, and your English fans. Come in here, and they're all free to live in their own separate sections. Where they feel safe, and they bust your head if you go in there. That's what makes America great, buddy.
Oh my God.
Tell you what you can do. Takes me out to the ball game. Takes me out with the crowd. Oh, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball.
Did I say he went to the University of Pennsylvania?
To be a dentist. Didn't quite make it.
I think he left to become a ball player, but it was a semi-pro team to play ball, and I don't know how long that lasted. He did at one point own a group, a string, whatever, of gas stations. He owned several gas stations in New York or New Jersey, and eventually in his mid-years, I would say, went to Florida, moved to Florida and bought a Mack truck agency. And a lot of his business, I'm told, most of his business was with Cuba. We didn't see a lot of him. It was a tradition in our house that on Christmas morning, after we opened all of our presents around about midday, we would all, my sisters and my mother and stepfather, we would all trek over to Grandpa's house for a Christmas visit. And there was another couple that was always there with them who spent Christmas Day with them apparently every year. And they would inevitably want Martha, Pat, and I to perform for them and their friends. Martha and I were very reluctant to do so. They wanted Martha to play the piano because Martha was very talented with the piano, and they would want me to do something, and I had no particular talent to display. I was probably the most reluctant in that I sat there with an angry face and my arms folded and said, I don't want to. So a couple of times I think I got up and recited a poem. Martha would very reluctantly play the piano, but Pat was very enthusiastic about it. And she would dance and sing, and they'd all think she was just the most adorable thing. And Martha and I would sit there gritting our teeth, thinking terrible thoughts about what we'd like to do to our little sister. But that was Christmas visit with Grandpa and Eleanor.
They were not warm and fuzzy grandparents.
Next time you're found with your chin on the ground, there's a lot to be learned. So look around.
Just what makes that little old ant think he'll move that rubber tree plant? Anyone knows an ant can't move a rubber tree plant, but he's got.
When Martha and I were teenagers, on our February vacations, we would fly down to Florida and spend a week with them. Them is our grandfather and the Christmas princess.
I wonder if you can guess who I am.
Anyway.
Can you give me a hint?
Well, she was our grandfather's second wife. She was a wrinkled up old bag.
When troubles call and your back's to the wall, there's a lot to be learned.
She didn't particularly like kids. She never had any children, didn't understand children.
You didn't eat your did.
Silly old ram thought he'd punch a hole in a dam. No one could make that ram scram. He kept butting that dam 'cause he had.
Honey, they didn't come around. You had to go see them. He would take us, we'd have to get dressed up and go to the opera. And then he would take us places like we were possessions to show us off. And we'd have to look just right to go out with His Highness, okay. And I remember being at a rather elegant restaurant one time, and he was pulling his nonsense of, you know, the king. Martha and I were mortified, and we got up and went to the ladies' room, and on our way through the restaurant, we were going, oh, do you believe him? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. And this waiter went by and stopped. He heard what we were saying, and he said, don't worry about it, girls. He's a good tipper. I'll never forget that.
All problems just a toy balloon. They'll be bursting soon. They're just bound to go pop.
And then another time we went to the Coconut Grove Playhouse, and he parked at the end of a block there was just a little bit of space before you got to the very corner. And we came out, and somebody in a little sports car had backed right up against his car in that little space. Well, this man had quite a temper. And he put his car in forward, and he pushed that little sports car right out in the middle of the intersection and took off.
Sounds like him.
Sounds like him, doesn't it, Ken? And I remember the Christmas princess had a sister, and she was very nice when she was younger. And she would spend time with us and take us to the parrot jungle and places like that. And I'll never forget her telling Martha and me that, you know, girls, just keep this in mind. God gave you your family, thank God you can pick your friends. And I've never forgotten it. It was a hoot going there. And we would go most days, we would get in the car with the Christmas princess, and we would go over to Key Biscayne on the ocean, where they had a cabana where we would put our bathing suits on and all of this and that. And then they had a pool, so we could either go into the pool or we could go into the ocean. But what we thought was really the cat's meow was when the waiter came out with the towel over his arm and took our lunch orders, okay. And then he'd bring them out with a big silver dome on them and lift it up. That was hot stuff.
I remember that cabana.
That was hot stuff, let me tell you.
And she'd put on her bathing suit.
Oh, he was quite the ladies' man.
Left me all alone.
Eleanor's not with him.
Told me you were going out for a soda pop.
They probably cropped her out of the picture.
No, they used to go on, they went on a lot of cruises.
Yeah.
I know they liked Portugal a lot. Well,
Yeah.
they liked Mallorca.
When I saw lipstick on your collar, told a tale on you.
That was, I think, his favorite place.
Said you were untrue. Bet your bottom dollar you and I are through. 'Cause
Oh, I remember one time I was visiting down there, and I think I was alone. Martha might have been in college then. It was a winter vacation. They wanted to take me to High Lie, but I had to be 21, and I was not 21. Well, they spent the day trying to make me look older. And when we got to High Lie, it was questioned, how old is this girl? Well, my grandfather, in his infinite actions, okay, proceeded to say, well, you don't think I would bring an underage girl here, do you? And went marching right past the person, and I'm going, oh my God. They're gonna throw me out of here and I'm gonna be all alone on the sidewalk. I felt like I wanted to crawl in a hole.
Don't be silly.
Well, she just walked around with her wrinkled face in the air.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
So after our grandfather died, our parents started going to Florida for Christmas to be with Eleanor.
On our troubles will be out of sight. Have your yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay.
Instead of staying home with us and their grandchildren. So we started calling her the Christmas Princess.
Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us.
That's the origin. What can I tell you?
Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Oh no, he wasn't a warm, loving grandfather. I mean, we were possessions. And maybe it was a different time, different generation and all, but I think a lot of people back in those days, though, they weren't as involved with their children or their grandchildren as they are today. They really weren't. And I think that's probably part of it. And then we came along, grew up, and we have a whole different outlook on our kids and our grandchildren.
Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough,